Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous, the day-to-day grind, preparing for fleet carriers, space legs, and personal planetary bases. Well, it's April 11th. We've had the fleet carriers beta for about 4 days, and we have about 9 days left. And about 3% of the player base is able to purchase one in beta because they're a minimum of 5 billion. You really need about, for me, I really need about 8 billion to deck it out or to outfit it the way I want to outfit it, have enough fuel, those kinds of things. We started with 6.3 because they took a snapshot of the system on March the 29th. I had 6.3 at that time, and now I have 8.7. So I think for the May beta, I'm going to be just fine, and much better for the May beta than for the April 7th beta. And hopefully Frontier hears the cries of the player base about the upkeep is too high. The upkeep for my carrier is 127 million per week. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. And the tritium is hard to come by. I actually did some astro mining today, and it wasn't that easy. Now, it was not a hot spot. It was a pristine icy ring where tritium is supposed to come from surface mining and sub-core mining of icy rings, and it was tough. I didn't see any tritium at all. And I only saw a small batch of low temperature diamonds, which are 34% of a ton. So I didn't even have enough for even one. And I had to ignore most of it because like hydrogen peroxide and things like that. And I set ignore on those because I'm more of a surface mining laser. I did purchase some sub-core laser that blows up the asteroid. I did purchase some of that, and I might get to it before the 20th. I'm not really sure. I'm not as comfortable with the asteroid mining. It's like I can do it, but I hardly get enough to make it even worth bothering with. And when I first got out to Sothis, there was about 1,000 tons, and I bought that up real quick. And ever since, there's maybe 1 to 6 tons available every time that I hit Sothis mining. Now, I did find a few missions that you could take a reward of tritium, but they were about 30 tritiums a piece. And you can get a little bit better, maybe for every ton of tritium, you can get maybe 1.3 light years, something like that, maybe a little, probably around there. So it's not a 1-to-1. You get a little bit better out of the tritium, but it's not so easy. Now, I think if it was in regular play, you would have regular players mining tritium because it's so expensive, and they can make more money, especially those that are really good at asteroid mining, at icy asteroid mining and deep core. because there's a lot of those that void opals and low temperature diamonds. They know how to do that stuff, and I take my hat off to them because it's not that easy. I use a pulse wave. I see the asteroids that turn the bright yellow and orange, and I go over there, and there's no tritium in them on those asteroids. Now, again, I have not seen a hot spot yet for tritium, so I might tomorrow and the next day. There's a system that has like 7 planets with icy rings, and the first one did not. It had a void opal hot spot, but I didn't see any surface ones. You would have to blow up the asteroid to get to it. And so I can usually do better with missions, and I'm not having a problem. If I grind it, I'm not doing too much grind in beta, because what you make in beta stays in beta. So in 9 days it all goes away anyway, and I have to redo everything in May for that beta. So I'm not going to spend too much effort, but the fleet carrier, besides it's so expensive, works really well for me, because for me it's a traveling home base. And everybody on the forums that I have read their posts that they use it for a traveling home base, they love it. I love it. I think it's great. But you better be able to grind. You better play all the time and grind. Prime time grind all the time is what you have to do. If you don't, it's going to be tough. And if you play occasionally, it's going to be hard for one to get up the 7 or 8 billion you really need to build it out the way you want, and then to pay the 127 to 147 in upkeep charge. So it's not cheap. And the space legs and the planetary personal bases, those supposed to come out by the end of the year, and they'll be part of a DLC, just like Horizon is a DLC. It's a separate package that you have to pay for, and a leak last year, and it's been pretty right on. The leak has been, and it was saying it should be available the end of 2020, and it's going to be part of a DLC. You'll have to buy that content, and I'm going to buy all of it. And I have 81,000 ARXs, so I'm going to get the paint job, and I'm going to get the kit for the fleet carrier and all that, and you'll get to see it, because I'll create videos, as you know I do, because I've got over 500 videos right now, and that's just since January. So we're going to keep making videos of this stuff in detail. We go through every button that you can press on the fleet carrier. So as you can tell, if you watch the videos over the last 2 weeks, and the viewership of my videos are up over 750% as of the publication of this video. So people are interested. There's a lot of hype, and you can see details. So we let it go in the fleet carrier, go into hyper space, and I'm in the Python outside of the carrier, so you get to see the cloud form and it go through the cloud and the thunder and lightning and roar and all that, and it's pretty cool. I've got 2 of the videos in the series, My Fleet Carriers, My First Look. There's 2 instances in those videos where we watch it take off. And I had someone ask if we could watch it return. Well, the problem is you send it to a planet or a star or a moon, and it orbits that moon, star, planet. Well, it's almost impossible to know where it's going to come in on that orbit to the exact coordinate that it's going to come in. So there might be a way. I haven't heard of one, and if I'd be able to get there in time anyway. So I'm not sure that can be done. So we need to get to Sothis Mining. We were every 500 million putting a video together. Well, it's been a little bit choppy. We haven't hit every increment of not 500 million, but 50 million. We haven't hit every one of them because of the fleet carrier beta. It's kind of thrown a monkey wrench in there too. But we're about to go to 8.8 billion. And we need 13.5 roughly to get there. And I believe we're going to hit it on this run from here to Sothis Mining, Babbage back, and maybe back to Sothis Mining. But I think we can do it. So stick with me, and we're going to run some missions. Now, this is in my live. This is my main account that we're building on for the future. You see it's almost at 8.8. I think we're setting pretty good for the May beta and for the June purchase. I think we're pretty good, but we're going to keep grinding because we don't know what the availability and the cost of tritium is going to be. So when I first got to Sothis Mining, it was awesome because we were making over 42 million a load of tritium here to COs, and there were plenty of missions, and we could stack them up, and we were doing really well. And we bought 1,000 tons of tritium for our personal fleet carrier. So at first we thought it was going to be great, but it's kind of dried up a little bit, but we can still make some pretty good. We should be able to make over 12 million per run, 12 to 22 million. So we'll see. Stick with me. Look to the bottom of the video to the right, and you'll see my subscribe button. Please press that. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps me with YouTube in the future because I'm not even close to the minimum that they require. And you'll get notified for all of these fleet carrier space legs, personal, planetary base, because I'm going to buy into it, and I'm going to make videos on it in detail. So stick with me. We can get through this game, and I've been playing for about 6 months. Is this right? I have elite status both in trade and explorer, and I have competent of 18% in combat. Now, combat's my weakest area, but we go skimmer and stinger hunting, so watch those videos. And it's very low risk, but you can build your combat rank slowly. Risk versus reward. Well, the risk is low and the rewards are kind of low, but you can build it. And it's not as crazy, except for the Guardian surface site with the Guardian Sentinels. That seemed to be pretty crazy. And we're at almost 8.8. And Squadron GFMR. What that's for is not for a combat squadron, but where you can have access to the carrier, the fleet carrier. Really just to land. You can donate tritium. You can maybe by June I'll have enough funds to set up the set up the commodities market. I don't know how much commodities we will have. We can purchase inventory, but we probably will have a resale between 10 and 15%, and that's just to help fund the fleet carrier. So it's your way of being able to land on the RGFC and contribute and get something out of it. So there'll be a tariff or an added percentage just to help in running the fleet carrier, because it's so crazy expensive. And we will probably be selling ships and outfitting and all of that. So just go to my About tab on my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, and there's a contact email. Email me. Say you either want to be signed up as a friend or a squadron member. And you can fill the application out under squadrons. So GFMR is the ID, GFMRDG without the underscore, for the squadron name. And underneath the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG. And you can apply to be part of the squadron, or you can ask to be a friend and just give me your commander name. Mine is RGILES. So whatever your commander name is, I can give you permission to land on the carrier and purchase from the commodities market, the outfitting, the shipyard, refuel, all that. So, hey, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the fleet carrier. It's the best content in the last 8 months, that's for sure. So let's go get to that 8.8 billion, because it's prime time grind. It's a grind all the time. So just to afford the content. Sys left. I use voice attack, and I have not set up a destination. And this is a little disappointing in a way, and you'll soon understand. If you watch my fleet carriers videos, my first fleet carrier, my fleet carrier is orbiting this planet, and it's right out here. It's beside Sothis mining on the system map. It's not here because this is the main account, live account. It's not beta, and it's not here. I wish it was here, but it's not. But in June it will be here. So, and if you email me, I'll tell you where it's at, what system it's currently at, and at what planet. So currently, as of the publication of this video, if you go into the beta, it's here, Sothis A7A, and Sothis Mining is also orbiting Sothis A7A, and the RG-FC is too. So you can actually fly by it, do a flyby, and if you'll give me your commander name, I'll let you land on it. So I'll give you permission to land. And we'll have to figure it all out together, because this is my first look at the fleet carriers, and working with and having a squadron, or setting up friends. So, okay, let's see. Yep, now we're set up. Let's go there. Got all the preliminaries out of the way. And if you watch the videos over the last 2 weeks, we go through all the details. Like it costs $5 billion, and with upgrades you're going to spend a minimum of $2 billion, maybe $3 billion.
Landing gear retracted.
Clear of the landing pad. Regulate speed until outside the exclusion zone.
The upkeep costs are as much as $150 million a week. Fuel is $42,000 currently. over 42,000 per ton, and the fuel tank's 1,000 tons. It's not cheap.
Frameshift drive charging.
So that's why we have to prime time grind all the time, just to support that fleet carrier, because it's steep.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
I have all my ships, all my stored modules. I have over 72 stored modules on it. Most of those are engineer modded. We're still getting interdicted, but not quite as much, and I think it's because maybe a lot of our listeners came out to Sothis mining. So it is struggling a little bit. So we're not getting quite the rewards we were before, but we're not getting quite the interdictions either. Sis left. Because if the rewards are high, usually the pirates are more viral. If the pirates are not as viral, the rewards are not as high. So they go hand in hand most of the time. And I have to keep it straight because we're at Sothis and Sothis Mining both in my live account and my fleet carrier beta. So it's a little bit different because my fleet carrier is in the beta and it's not in the live. And they've changed some of the menus up, and we have remote management of the fleet carrier. So from anywhere in the galaxy, I can tell the fleet carrier to go here or there as long as I have enough fuel. If I have fuel in storage, there is 25,000 tons of storage. Now, just based on the services I have turned on in my ships and my outfitting and all of that, it eats up about 6,000 of the 25,000. So I have about 19,000 available that I can put, additional tritium and stuff like that. But if I add the commodity market and the inventory and the ships and the outfitting, it's going to eat a lot of that 25,000 up. So come and join us, though. As sometime in June, we're going to have the fleet carrier for good, and we are going to prime time grind all the time, so we're going to be able to support it. Like to get up to a year of upkeep costs, so we don't have to worry about it. And I'd like to have up to 15 or 16,000 tons of fuel. Now, I'm not going to go out to Colonia. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to Colonia. I'm 22,000 light years away. With the 1 ton or the 1,000 tons that are in the fuel tank, and say 22,000 tons in storage, you could probably make it without refueling to Colonia if you can find that much tritium. But so far it hasn't been that easy to find tritium. Everyone's hoarding it, I guess, in their fleet carriers, and there's not enough people mining it. Sis left, and we have ships that try to beat us to the request.
Docking request granted.
Yeah, we beat them that time, but Sometimes it gets to where it's half and half. One time we beat them, and the next time they beat us. And what I'll do is hover over the pad and make it a little more difficult for them to get off the pad when they do that. And it's just that optical course mentality the game has. It's to make it as difficult as possible. That's what the interdictions are about. It's like you commuting to work every day, and you get between 4 and 7 carjackings on your way to work every day where someone's trying to carjack you. That's what this game can be like, which is far from being realistic.
Engines disengaged.
In reality, you would never get carjacked up to 7 times every day when you go to work. I mean, that would be insane. That would be absurd. That means we have a lawless society. That's Elite Dangerous. That's the way it is. It's kind of lawless. So, they're security forces, but they do nothing to help you avoid interdictions. Sys left. 20 hours, so we can pick any of them. So we're probably going to pick the Babbages. There's 2 Babbage. There's 108 and 132, and we can have a little bit more than that. So let's go for the 2 Babbages and try to add another Babbage to fill it up. Those are the 2 that are not. That one is. And this one is. Okay, so if we go over here and say sys left, we need about 13.5. Sys left. Much as I complain about broken things in Elite Dangerous, voice attack, to have to say it 2 or 3 times sometimes, it's broken. And my Oculus Rift S loses tracking, and so I have to reboot Oculus app, so it's broken. So I complain about all of it because they're broken. Okay, we got 6.2 and 4, 5, so that's 6, 7, 10, 7. So we need about 3 million. If we can get 3 million more, we'll make it. Sys right. And we have space for about 40, so it's going to be kind of tough to do that. Maybe we can get a round trip some more. So we need what I'd say like 2.5 or 3.5 we needed. So let's see what we can find. We look for palladiums first, and you almost need those little 2s and 3s to make that work, and they're usually at the top. So see, those golds would work, but we only have space for 40. There's a palladium. New non, we can carry that the next time. deliver 2 palladiums. The New Dawn, we needed that one for Babbage.
Incoming mission critical message.
New Dawn. See, we're picking all the palladiums right now, and only the palladiums. And we pick other, like for Babbage, we need 40. So we're trying to pick something to go to Babbage, but we're going to have to take a partial. And we're not going to hit it when we get to Babbage. We're going to be close, but I don't think we're going to be close enough. But on the way back, we might have enough. So what we're looking for is a Babbage. Nope. That's gold. And we might have to go to something else if we can't find a gold going to Babbage. See, there's a gold, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be a partial. We can only take 40 of it.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
But we might make it on the round trip. But we're probably going to wind up saying close enough and making this a video. Yep, that's all. I don't like to take gold unless we're just topping off a cargo run. Sys up. Sys left. So we're going to Babbage to deliver this and to get close to the 8.8 or much closer. But again, there might be, from time to time, there is missions going from Babbage back to Sothis Mining. So make sure you look to the bottom of the video to the right and you find my YouTube channel or subscription and press that, please. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me with you, or will help me with YouTube in the future. I'm not
Landing
even
gear
close
retracted.
to.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
I'm not even close to the minimum that they require yet. And the reason we say 50 million increments because we don't want too many videos in the day. We have around 4 videos a day, so we don't really want it to be a whole lot more than that.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
So I do try to space it out a little bit. I run probably 2 to 3 missions in between the 50 million increment sometimes. But I'm also doing the fleet carrier videos of my fleet carrier
Incoming
series.
mission critical message.
Meaning we're going to probably be interdicted. Yep, we got one that popped in behind us. Sys left. Because pirates have superpowers, they can pop in from anywhere in the galaxy right behind you, out of thin space. And they can travel. See, I've got my sensor zoomed completely out. They can travel from one end to the other in milliseconds, less than a second. And you and I can't do that. They can go from a dead stop all the way across, most of the way across the system, and stop on a dime in less than a second. So that's one of my complaints. It should be, they don't have any more special powers than you or I have when we're playing. It should be more realistic. Like I said, if it was realistic, you wouldn't have 4 to 7 interdictions most days. On like every drive. I mean, every run to Sea Oath, at times we have 4 to 7 on every Super Cruise run. So it gets really crazy. And that's why I don't fly the cutter as much, because it's harder than the Python. It's not as agile as the Python. It's not extremely bad, because I have a video on 6 interdictions in the cutter. So if you just type interdiction on my YouTube channel search, you'll find at least 3. 1 with the 6 with the cutter, and 2 7s with the Python. See, I've put this Python through quite a bit, and it's held up really well. Now most of the modules are modded through the engineers, and I have videos on that, so also search on engineer and watch those videos. They're very detail oriented of how to unlock the engineers and find the materials to unlock them, and then the materials it takes for each of the modules that you're trying to mod. And yes, I have 72 stored modules. At least 65 of those are modded from the engineers. So I can just buy a ship and pop in the modules and it's modded instantly. So I like doing that. I might even do more of that because I got a fleet carrier. Now we have to watch for the super-powered pirates, so we might have to move downward real fast, or they'll try to push you into that planet. Is this left?
DeLacy, Romeo, Golf, India. It's a pleasure to have you at this federal station, Commander.
Now they might, those ships that follow me around the galaxy just to beat me to the small stations.
Okay, Commander, you are go for approach to pad 26. Automated docking confirmed.
They probably try to beat me here too, except for there's a lot more landing pads and I probably don't notice. Is this up? Because they don't keep me from landing. Like, I believe that's one of them that's always trying to beat me. But you can definitely tell at small stations because there's only one medium landing pad. And it's the same 2 ships every time that beat me to the pad.
Landing gear deployed.
Texas Tango 43, course correction for parallel offset.
Embark when ready.
So we'll see how close we get to 8.8. We need about 13.5, and I think we're just a little short. But we'll go ahead and make this a video anyway. We might have the return trip. We'll see if there's a couple of missions going back to Sothis mining. I mean, we're going to be close. I just don't think we're close enough. See, we're within 2.7 million. Crossing it, and we need to find one going back to Sothis. And Sothis mining, to be exact. And I don't do the 5,000-6,000 units. The math doesn't come out very good. The smaller ones do much better. The 180 unit max seems to do better. And we had a partial. It doesn't pay us this time, but it will probably the next time. Yeah, that's Ceos. We need to find the ones for Sothis. Yep, probably not going to do it this time, but I mean that's close. And the next one will be 8.85 that we create a video. It just needs to be close to the 50 million increment before we do the next one. But on March the 26th, it was 6.3, and we're at nearly 8.8. Now, if I'm not doing videos and I'm just grinding for 6 hours in a day, I can do about 500 million, 500 million. So it can be as high as 22 million in a 15-20 minute time frame. So most of the time it's over 12 and up to 22. So we do pretty good. So let's get back to Sothis mining, and we'll end the video at Sothis mining. Sys left. Be sure to watch more of my videos. Not only the engineers, but the material traders and locations to collect materials for the engineers and synthesis. Check out the videos on synthesis. That's pretty fascinating. That's where you can repair and rearm your ship through materials. For an example, I'll show you that. Sys right. Go to modules and let's find something that normally can break. Say heatsink launchers. You can resupply your heatsinks using materials. See, I can reload for, I need basic conductors and heat conductive wiring, and I have those I have 26 and 38 in my materials list. And so I could reload my heatsink 13 times just through material. I just think that is so cool. things that have to be restocked or repaired. Now on the you can even do it with life support. See, we could reload our life support through synthesis. It's just craziness. And where you find your materials, these are the materials you have even if you die. It's what you collect at Jameson Crash Site, at Dav's Hope, and running around the planet shooting rocks. You gain these materials. And these are the manufactured materials. Look at these Guardian technology materials. Yeah, this is both. See, this is a raw, and you can, and the one to the left, see the arm, that's a manufactured material, and the planet is raw materials. Yeah, that's how you can tell. And this is encoded materials like you get from Jameson Crash Site. So if you die, this goes with you. They all fit on it like a pen drive in your pocket when you die. So they go with you. But your universal cartographics don't go with you, and your cargo doesn't go with you. You lose all that. You pay fines and all that. So the synthesis is really cool. I do like that part. I've got 2,200 hours in this game. So there has to be some good for me to play 2,200 hours. Which there is. Be sure to
landing gear retracted.
Ship released. Go for departure.
Please consider donating to our cause, and look in the About tab and in the description of the video, and you'll see ways you can donate. Underneath the video to the left, you'll find my YouTube channel page, GFM_RDG. And if you go to the About tab and send me an email stating you would like to be a friend of the fleet carrier, or part of a squadron, which is not a combat squadron, it's just to access the fleet carrier.
Frameshift drive charging.
But I thank you for watching. I thank all the ones that have subscribed and have donated to our channel.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
It means a lot to us. We work really hard to put out these videos, to edit them, to publish them. And to create them. Is this left? And I don't see RG-FC. Yeah, because it's the main account. In my the beta version, you actually see our fleet carrier in the navigation pane, and I miss not seeing it there. But in June, you will see it there permanently. When we're pretty much where we're at. We'll be in Sothis and Ceos quite a bit, because it's prime time grind all the time. yeah, we'll do things like go to Jameson Crash Site and go to Dav's Hope and collect materials, which I have quite a few videos of doing that. And we'll go running around the planets hunting skimmers and stingers and adding to our combat ranking. We'll still do a lot of that, but right now it's building our funds for the fleet carriers, because yes, I have almost 8.8 billion, but most of that will be gone as of June. It'll just disappear right into the fleet carrier. So, and we'll have to build it all up again. So if we build it up ahead of time, there won't be as much to build up later, because after I completely get the fleet kit carrier outfitted and built out, I want to get up to 10 billion afterwards. And having the tritium, I want up to 15,000 tons of tritium on board in storage. And then I want the fuel tank, which is 1,000 tons. I want it full. I want the ships and the outfitting materials and the commodities, all where my members can access. So we can be out in deep space mining, for an example, and you'll be able to access the fleet carrier to refuel and to rearm your limpids and all of that. Now, that's not my favorite way to get materials, is asteroid mining, but you know, I probably should do more. I do have a few asteroid mining videos, but I don't collect as much as I can running cargo. Sis left.
Docking request granted.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ships that's always trying to beat us. And we beat him, so he's upset. How dare us? Now he knows how I feel. It's one of the Diamondbacks.
Landing gear deployed.
No, I don't think so. Kind of painted it. Yeah, I think it is one of the Diamondback ships. Yep, it is.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Okay, well, I thank you for coming along. I hope that you'll be willing to watch more of the videos and join me the next time and watch more of the videos from the last 2 weeks of the fleet carriers and the fleet carrier beta. And in the future, when we have videos eventually on the space legs and planetary personal bases and any other new content that Frontier comes out with. Watch my Ultimate Fishing Simulator. I have 2 series on that, and that's pretty cool. You need to watch that. And it was fun filming and producing those too. So, and I have VR pinball, which the tables come alive, and that's pretty exciting. So until next time, thank you for watching.